comes to talk. And remember, all opinions are welcome, whether you agree or disagree. All right. So, for all of you chat room trolls, you're welcome to call. And I can't use profanity, of course. I know that's difficult for a lot of you, but you are welcome to call in and ask your questions and share your thoughts on all of these issues. All right, stand by. Yep, the toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. Here we go. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. There was another assassination attempt on the President of the United States, Donald Trump, in the last couple of days. We're just learning about it. The story broke last night. We're just getting the details. There was another assassination attempt, and the assassin is in custody, this time in California, and there was a major security lapse as well this week on the East Coast involving the president. What the left are doing in this country to this president and the Trump family is beyond imagination. You know, we have a major problem with left-wing violence in this country. So I'm going to cover this story. We're going to go into details of what happened with the latest Trump assassination attempt and the latest Trump assassin. I'll tell you about the major breach in Washington, D.C. again. Can you believe it? You know, so we have an assassin in California, major security breach with the president on the East Coast. I mean, it's nonstop. And I just off the top of my head, I would say this is like the 15th assassination attempt against the president. President Trump has had more assassination attempts against him than all of the other presidents combined. Think about that. Right? We have a major problem with left-wing political violence in the United States. So we're getting a lot of detail on this new assassination attempt and this new assassin that is in California. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to go through this story. If you'd like to call in and share your thoughts on this, certainly you are welcome. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. This is from the New York Post. An armed man scouted President Trump's California golf club before the commander-in-chief's visit. And investigators say the arrest uncovered an illegal rifle, body armor, and a weapons stash. 38-year-old man was charged in a federal criminal complaint with possessing an unregistered short-barreled rifle after his arrest Saturday at Trump's golf club in L.A. This felony alone carries a mandatory minimum sentence in federal prison of 10 years. Federal agents were conducting security sweeps ahead of Trump's August 4th visit when they spotted the man on July 31st walking around the golf course wearing an earpiece, taking photos and videos of security planning as well, according to the court documents. He returned to the Trump Club on Saturday, prompting the staff to alert authorities. He approached federal agents and falsely claimed he worked for the State Department and was assigned to a security detail. How did he get a short-barreled AR, they say AR-styled weapon? How did he get something like this that's never been registered before? He told the authorities he had a loaded firearm inside his pickup parked at the Trump Club. Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies responded and discovered he had an outstanding warrant tied to a robbery case. LA County deputies found a 16-round magazine loaded with hollow point ammunition in his pocket. A search of his pickup truck turned up a loaded 9mm pistol with a round chambered. Another loaded magazine filled with hollow points. He also had binoculars and a badge labeled Security Protection Agent. So he had a lot of ammo. He had multiple guns. One gun had never been registered with the government. I don't know how that happened. He had an earpiece in, so he's going around pretending to be like Secret Service, and he had a fake badge. This was the real deal, this monster. Investigators searched his home on Sunday, where they seized an illegally modified AR platform rifle that had never been registered in the National Firearms Registration and Transfer Record, along with additional firearms, ammunition, high-capacity magazines, body armor, an earpiece, 2 radio signal devices, and notebooks containing concerning statements. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yes, this was right before President Trump's visit to the location. Let's see here. He's facing firearms-related charges and a 2025 robbery case in LA Superior Court where he was granted bail of $250,000 on the robbery case. He's expected to make his initial appearance in federal court today. The FBI, the U.S. Secret Service, the ATF, and the LA County Sheriff's Office are investigating the case. Okay? But that's not all. This 15th, maybe there's even been more. There's been, I got to sit down and make a note of all these assassination attempts. I'm losing track. Yes, it is terrifying. There was also an incident involving Marine One in D.C. Yeah, he had body armor, so he was ready for a gunfight. This is CNN. The FAA are investigating an air traffic safety incident yesterday involving the military helicopter carrying President Trump and another aircraft, according to Reuters and air traffic control audio. The FAA is investigating a safety incident involving Marine One. The Marine One helicopter took off from the south lawn of the White House Tuesday afternoon, but air traffic at nearby Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport continued for a couple of minutes afterwards. So when Marine One moves, the airport shut down. There's nothing in the air. They didn't shut down the airport. They didn't clear the airspace. And Marine One is flying over D.C. on the way to Andrews, to the new Air Force One, with jets in the air. So we have which may have been the 15th. We have what may have been the 15th assassination attempt on the president in California over the weekend. A guy with body armor, lots of ammunition, guns that there's no record of in the federal database ever. Now we have this incident with Marine One in the air with jets that aren't supposed to be in the air over D.C. What's going on here? What's going on here? I think it's obvious. My goodness. They'll never stop. They will never stop. You look in just the last few weeks, how many assassination attempts have there been on the president and his family? This golf course assassin in California. The Iranians threatening to shoot down the new Air Force One. A Don Jr. assassin was arrested a week or two ago. Also, within the last month, a terrorist was arrested plotting to assassinate Ivanka Trump and her family. And the White House Correspondents' Dinner assassination. So just in the last few weeks, we've had 5 assassination attempts on President Trump and the Trump family. 5. Just from the Correspondents' Dinner to now. And it's not even including all the ones that have happened before that. Remember the guy who drove the truck to Mar-a-Lago? All these, the sniper's nest by the airport. Never seen anything like this. Never. And it will never end. Well, there's a lot to cover on the program today. This is only one. We'll be right back. right, if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in and share your thoughts on this, the number is toll free and it's listed in the live chat. Okay, it's pinned at the top of the chat or the bottom of the chat, whichever live stream you're looking at. It's pinned in the chat, and the number is toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I mean, I'm just sick of it. It's nothing short of sick, right? I mean, that's what you got going on here. Okay, let me pull this up. Okay. You know, we have a violent left-wing mob. We have Never Trumpers, all these groups who feel that they are entitled to do these crazy things. If you're new to the program, make sure that you subscribe, all right? Welcome to the program. And if everyone could please like the video, I'd appreciate it, you guys. When you like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So that helps quite a bit. So please like the video. Some of the other things I'm going to cover, I'm going to talk about Ahmad's Democrat victory in Michigan, and a lot of other things too. There's a lot of things to cover on today's program. Okay, this is only one of many, but this is a big one. I mean, you know, the sad thing is there's so many assassination attempts on the president and his family. The news have this attitude that it's so commonplace, it's not news anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the attitude that they have. All right, now hang in there, guys. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back. What if you could understand the Bible is one complete story? Changing Bible study live streams right now. Find the link in the description of this episode. Share the link on all your social media so your friends can join in too. Again, the link is in the description of this episode. Look in the description and click it right now. Yeah, guys, and that is an incredible Bible study. Check it out. The link is in the description. And it's put together by one of the listeners and watchers of the program. So when you click that link, you're supporting me, and you're also supporting them and all the hard work they do for their Bible study. All right, stand by. We have just a few seconds till we are back. Stand by. 10 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. Now, if you're just joining us, there was another assassination attempt on the president. The assassin is in custody in California. There was a very concerning security incident yesterday with the president and Marine One in Washington, D.C. And then last night, we get this Ahmed who wins the primary. This is his victory speech. Okay, now that word that the crowd is going nuts for is a Muslim word that means God willing. And did you hear that crowd in Michigan go wild when they hear the guy speaking Muslim, speaking Arabic? My goodness. We're in bizarro world. Am I in a dream? Is this a nightmare? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Good morning, Richie. Good morning.
Hey, Richie.
This, like you said, it's not going to stop, and you asked the question, why? And I got to tell you, when first of all, when President Kennedy was assassinated, they had an open car.
Mm-hmm.
So that they decided, well, we can't do that anymore. So we have to put a top on all the cars. Then we have to. Now we're to the point where he's driving around in the beast. It's like an armored vehicle. Mm-hmm. You had the Pope. They tried to assassinate him when he was out there, and then he had to go into that Pope mobile, or whatever, that bubble.
Yep.
It's gotten to the point with society that I mean, it's so outrageous that he can't even have a speech where he's not enclosed in bulletproof glass.
Well, this assassin in California they arrested. He's got body armor, an earpiece, so he can pass himself off as a Secret Service agent. I mean, this guy was planning. He was planning a big shootout. He was planning a big firefight.
Well, you want to know why? I sat yesterday and watched the Todd Blanche hearing to give him the okay, and I watched every Democrat not just assault the character of the President of the United States.
Yeah.
One after the other, calling him everything that you could imagine, and then the final straw was the Adam Schiff, who's garbage. He's a liar. He's a proven liar, and he gets promoted by the Democrats. They vote for him for Senate. Tells me how sick the Democratic voters are, including the idiot that's probably going to call you Doc from Texas, an idiot. That's what they got voting for them: illegals and idiots.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another. When we talk about the president, I made a YouTube video about this because I went up to see the motorcade up at Mar-a-Lago. When the president leaves the airport and drives to Mar-a-Lago, the Beast is driving at full speed down the highway, maximum speed. Yeah. And it used to drive like at idle speed so he could wave at the people on the side of the road. And it goes by so fast, you feel, I mean, you can't even, it's a blur. Full speed it drives. That's how much danger he's in.
I would have to think that they would have to tighten the security to the point where I hate to say this, but President Trump cannot get out there and the press telling you where he's going. They all knew he was going to go to this golf course. You can't do that anymore. I mean, it's bad enough he's got a mark on him, and then you're going to tell people where he's going to be 3 days before. You can't give these people an opportunity. If he's going to have any kind of meetings with people, it's got to be at the White House with his security.
Yeah.
If you put him out there, that's the problem. I mean, even when he goes to these rallies, which we love his rallies, I mean that's taking the biggest risk of all. Look at what happened to Charlie Kirk with the rallies. I'm sorry, you just can't do it. I don't care. I don't even care if you
and the Democrats and the liberals, they think it's justified, like he's brought it on himself. Hey, Richie, I appreciate the call. All right, take care. I came across this. I was in shock when I saw this. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, when she left Congress, it was reported that she had made $25 million. She was worth $25 million, Marjorie Taylor Greene. If she's worth $25 million, why is she doing this? Listen.
Hi, everyone. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I am excited to let you know I am now on Cameo. So if you have a special message for a friend or a loved one, I would love to deliver it for you.
Okay. Now, those of you that don't know, Cameo is an app where celebrities, they put themselves up there and you pay to have them like make a birthday greeting for somebody in your family or something. And it's mostly it's what celebrities do that can't find work any longer. And I get it. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, they said just a few weeks ago that she was worth $25 million. If Marjorie Taylor Greene is worth $25 million, why is she doing Cameo?
Hi, everyone. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I am excited to let you know I
Wow. Don't you find that to be odd? I do. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff.
You know, it's pretty hard to keep where he's going and what he's doing under tabs.
Yeah.
You know, but they got to still do a better job. And this shows that they are doing a better job, that they caught this guy. You know, you got to worry about someone that's a little more sophisticated, because this guy shows up to scope out the place with a gun. And if he hadn't done it with a gun, he might have had a better chance. You know what I mean?
Well, he had a gun with him. He had ammo with him. He had body armor. He had binoculars. He's taking video and photographs. He was taking notes. I mean, he was most definitely there. He had a fake badge and a fake earpiece to pass himself off as Secret Service. I mean, this was a.
I didn't hear about the fake badge. That's scary.
Yeah, he had a fake badge and the earpiece in his ear walking around so he could pass himself off as Secret Service. And I guess he thought because he was there a couple of days early, there'd be nobody there to catch him. But the advance team, they were called in by the staff at President Trump's golf course. When he came back the second time, remember, he went there once, scouted it out, had no problem. It was the second time when they got him.
Oh, I see. I misunderstood the sequence.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, all these attempted assassins through the history of America, all these mass murderers are Democrats.
Yes.
And at what point do any of the Democrats, which I think there are still more with common sense, are going to leave that party and at the very least, Brian, become an independent and leave that crazy communist party?
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting ridiculous. I don't. The guy that's running against Susan Collins, Troy Jackson.
Yeah. The guy married to his cousin.
Stupid,
the guy that's married to his cousin.
Yeah, he has this stupid commercial. I was from a logger's family and says something stupid. We got to vote Susan Collins out. That's the essence of his message. The Democrats have no message, Brian.
Yeah.
Where is their message? This is what Trump's going to do, and this is what we're going to do. They have nobody and no one, no message.
Well, the only thing I heard was that Democrat speaking Arabic in Michigan last night. You know, that's a message.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a message.
You know what's worse? But what's worse, Brian, is that New York City elected a
Muslim mayor.
crazy
Muslim communist, yes.
Yeah. After 9/11 in that city, what has happened to New York City?
They forgot.
That is that's absurd.
Mm-hmm. I know.
You know, and these attempts on Trump and all this negative is, I think, hurting the Democrats more and more and more. They just let them do what they're doing, because they're not helping their cause anywhere, any state, any office. And I believe it's going to help the midterms.
Mm-hmm.
This in the long run is going to help us.
It sure is. All right, Jeff, take care. Jeff in Maine. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Doc from Texas.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, man. How you this morning?
Not well.
That's good. I hope you feel better.
Mm-hmm. That's good. It's good. It's good that I'm not feeling well?
I said, I hope you feel better.
You said that's good, but I hope you feel better. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever.
Hope you feel better.
What's on your mind? Thank you.
All right. Why did I call you this morning? Oh, the situation in California. When I heard about that yesterday, I just knew that was going to be your top story this morning. I just knew it. I just knew that was going to be your top story. It got nothing to do with Trump, but I knew
It was an assassination attempt on him. Another one.
It wasn't. How, Brian? How? That wasn't even in California.
The guy is at President Trump's golf course in California, where the president was going to visit 2 days later.
He wasn't there. There was
not
no
yet.
on his life.
He wasn't there yet. He was going to
He
be.
wasn't there, Brian.
Will you stop talking so I can respond?
Okay, go ahead.
He was there 2 days before the president's visit, which was announced. He had a fake badge and an earpiece to pass himself off as Secret Service. He went there 2 days in a row taking videos and photographs. He had unregistered guns that aren't even in the system. So I don't know how these guns got made. He had lots of ammo. He had body armor. Don't sound stupid. He obviously was scouting it out, and you know it.
Don't call me stupid.
You did that yourself. You did that yourself.
No, I didn't.
I said don't play
That
stupid.
was,
I said don't play
you called me
stupid.
stupid.
I said
You
don't.
called me stupid.
I said don't play stupid.
Why you call people names? Why do you do that?
All right. Goodbye. That's your name today. Goodbye. After the bottom of the hour break, do you know why we didn't bomb Iran with that big bombing campaign the other day? They're saying taco, taco. That's not the reason. I'll tell you right after this. All right, if you'd like to call in, the number's toll free and it's pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631.
Some of life's most meaningful memories can come from something as simple as a familiar scent. And that's the inspiration behind Heavenly Scents, a handcrafted Etsy shop created from love, healing, and the memory of a cherished mother whose warmth and kindness continue to inspire every product. After struggling for years with sensitive skin, eczema, and unexplained hives, the creator of Heavenly Scents began making gentle goat milk body products using simple ingredients she could trust. What started as a personal journey soon became a passion for creating products that are as soothing to the skin as they are comforting to the soul. From rich, moisturizing goat milk soaps to beautifully scented body products, every item is handcrafted with care to help you relax, refresh, and enjoy a little everyday luxury. Whether you're searching for a thoughtful gift or treating yourself to something special, discover the handmade difference at Heavenly Scents online at heavenlyscents3.etsy.com. That's the number 3. heavenlyscents3.etsy.com. Visit the shop right now, view the inventory, and find the scent that feels like home. heavenlyscents3.etsy.com.
All right, we're still in radio break. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the calls when we get back. I have the real reason Trump called off the bombing campaign of Iran, which I'll get to in a moment. But those of you that are Medicare recipients, I want to tell you about Chapter. Okay, now the number to call is on the screen there. You know, Chapter, they can help you with your Medicare for absolutely free, right? You want to call them. Give them a call. You'll be speaking with a licensed Medicare advisor who will review your policy and make sure that you're not paying too much. Make sure that you have the right policy for you, and they cover the entire United States. So no matter where you are, give them a call. And also this, because they cover the entire country, they have access to all of the over 25,000 Medicare policies out there. So give Chapter a call right now. There'll be a licensed Medicare advisor ready to answer your call. 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. All right, give them a call no matter where you are located. All right, we have 30 seconds until we're back. I'm going to go back to the phones. Oh, my goodness. All right, 20 seconds. 20 seconds. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Now, if you're just joining, there has been another assassination attempt on the president, this time in California. The assassin is in custody, and then there was another security scare while the president was on board Marine One yesterday in Washington, D.C. All right, let's go. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hey, good morning, Brian. This is Danielle calling from Michigan.
Hey.
We're not all crazy, but first and foremost, prayers and thoughts and everything for our great president. We all
Absolutely.
must pray for him, pray for his safety, his family, and our country. That's one. Great call from Jeff from Maine and Richie. Awesome calls. And then I hear Doc call in. How disparaging. How, you know, Brian, it gets really scary and really sick when the left has absolutely gone off the rails.
Yeah.
And you get these callers that call in. And first of all, you never told him that he was stupid. You said, you get these callers that call in, Brian, they can't even acknowledge the violence of what their side is doing.
That's right.
It's really twisted. And you know, Doc and all the others that call in, they can't even acknowledge what's going on. Brian, these people, okay, this is Looney Town. These people are crazy. And what happened in Michigan last night, these people are crazy. But let me tell you something. Rogers is going to win in November in Michigan because Michigan is not crazy. We're not crazy people here, not all of us, Brian. And I kind of wanted this guy to win over her because I believe that Rogers really has a great chance.
Well, you know, you've got this, you know, this one thing we got to put it in perspective. You know, I told you guys earlier this week when Ahmed wins the primary, they're going to act like he won the general election, and they're already starting to do that. He's a Democrat who won the Democrat primary against two other Democrats. So, you know, but him speaking the Arabic in his victory speech, that scares the hell out of people. And Americans are afraid of Muslims. That's just the reality. Americans are afraid of Muslims, and you know, and that's the way it is. And I think that Ahmed is going to take the cheers in the crowd when he spoke Arabic and said "God willing" in Arabic. He's going to take that as open up the door and come out of the closet even more about who and what he truly is, and he'll be talking more like that to get the crowd all excited. And that's going to scare the hell out of you guys in Michigan, I hope.
That is right. I work in I'm right there. I work right there in Dearborn. Okay, I'm in Dearborn Heights. That's where I work.
Yeah.
I'm right here. And I will say that they're going to get. I think it was Jeff maybe that said it, or maybe Richie. They're going to get so flippin' crazy, Brian, that the American people, especially in Michigan, we're going to be like, "Are you kidding me? What are you lunatics doing? And what is it that you want?" But anyways, I just wanted to say, have a great show. I love your show, and keep up the good work and informing us of everything. And you know, stay strong. Everyone, stay strong. Stay positive. Keep praying for this country and our great president. God bless everybody. All right,
take care. Take care. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free 888-465-2631, and obviously all opinions are welcome. You know, it's really amazing going to the phone. So far, we've had calls from Florida, Texas, Maine, and Michigan. It's amazing, isn't it? It's like the old days of Larry King. We're a syndicated program here, and it's interesting to get the viewpoints from around the country. Okay, now President Trump called off the airstrike over Iran over the weekend. And we found out why. Oh, we got a big Florida story coming up too, guys. Don't miss it, involving Byron Donalds. Don't miss it, coming up in a little bit. Just a little mental note to self. So the president called off the airstrike over Iran over the weekend. And, of course, Fox News and others were ripping him for it, and they're calling him a coward, and, you know, he's making us look weak and everything else. It was reported on Fox News that the attack and the details of the attack were leaked. Okay, so there was a leak from the White House. In fact, the Israelis were not even told of the attack. There was a White House leak, which also could be the Pentagon because they're involved, but there was a leak from the administration prior to the attack, and it was so detailed that the Iranians got a look at what was going to be done. And the president called off the attack because it had been leaked out. Now, it's believed right now, this is a developing story, okay? But this was reported yesterday afternoon. It's believed it was leaked out at the Camp David cabinet meeting on Friday, and the prime members of the media that are the top suspects as to who received the leak from the leaker is CBS's Margaret Brennan, Jennifer Jacobs, or James Laporta, no relation to Tom. They released the first story Friday late afternoon about the major attack on Iran. Now, Margaret Brennan, I often point out, she does the CBS Sunday show, and she looks like she's whiter than me, and because I've got some sun from living in Florida. And she's married to a Syrian man. Margaret Brennan's husband is a Syrian man. I don't know if she's Muslim, if her children are Muslim. I don't know. Islam is passed down through the father, not the mother, and Judaism is passed down through the mother. But these are the three that reported the story first. So the president canceled the airstrike, not because he doesn't have the guts, not because of your taco nonsense, but the battle plans were leaked, and the Iranians got them. It's pretty scary, isn't it? What's going on? I mean, there's assassination attempts against the president at his golf club in California. That was a serious guy. There was the security breach while the president was on Marine One yesterday in D.C. Someone's leaking out the major attack plans against Iran to the left-wing Trump-hating media. There's an insurrection going on in this country by the Never-Trumpers. It is without question an insurrection. By the definition that the liberals in the media gave us for an insurrection, they're interrupting government business. And the government business they're interrupting is the business of the presidency of the United States, which is an entire branch of the government. And speaking of that, you know, the Democrat Socialist of America, we know they're communist, okay? It's a front group for the communist. But that party it is not a political party. The Democrat Socialist of America is not a political party. It's an illegal movement. Remember, about 3 weeks ago, they met and announced and released the Democrat Socialist of America's party platform. And their platform included this: the elimination of the presidency, the elimination of the Senate, and an oversight committee for the Supreme Court. So think about it this way. The Democrat Socialist Communist of America and their latest party platform they just released is calling for the overthrow of the United States government. Eliminating the presidency is eliminating an entire branch of government. They want to eliminate half of the legislative branch, the Senate, and they want to have an oversight committee over the courts, the Supreme Court and the courts. The third branch of government is our independent judiciary, and they want to have that under the puppet control of their party. That is an overthrow of the government of the United States. That is an insurrection. It is treason. It is illegal. The Democrat Socialist of America is an illegal party. I believe it should be shut down by the government, its leaders arrested, its members in Congress should be expelled, including Bernie Sanders in the Senate. If any of these Democrat Socialists win in November, they should not be seated in the House or the Senate or anywhere else in this country. They are a party of sedition, a party of insurrection, a party of treason. They're calling for the overthrow of the government, and that is not an exaggeration. If you're eliminating a branch of government, eliminating half of another branch, and then have an oversight committee over the third branch, that is an overthrow of the United States government. Do you agree with me on that? Our number, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. 888-465-2631. We'll take our last break of the first hour and be right back. Yeah, if you're on hold, stand by. If you would like to call in, the number's toll-free, and it's pinned in the live chat. If you're on hold, stand by. I will take the calls after the break.
Are you looking for a smarter way to care for your skin and your hair? You can do just replace that with Valaya AI. Valaya AI is your personal AI wellness coach. With just a quick scan from your phone, Valaya AI analyzes your skin and hair in seconds, providing personalized recommendations for acne, hydration, wrinkles, pigmentation, dryness, hair health, and that's just the beginning. Using advanced artificial intelligence, Valaya AI creates customized morning and evening routines, recommends products tailored to your needs, and even adjusts your care based on the weather, UV index, and seasonal conditions. What are you waiting for? Download Valaya AI right now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store and discover a smarter, more personalized approach to skin and hair care. Learn more and see how Valaya works online at mindhatch.ca. That's mindhatch.ca. Valaya AI, healthy skin and hair powered by artificial intelligence. What if you could understand the Bible as one complete story? From creation to Jesus to the fulfillment of end times prophecy. Now you can with engaging, eye-opening Bible study live streams where scripture comes together in a clear, easy-to-follow way that will deepen your understanding of God's Word. Discover how the events unfolding in today's world fit into the bigger picture God revealed throughout the Bible. Explore biblical prophecy and what it says about the future. Compare God's truth with Satan's deception. Examine the evidence for creation versus evolution and gain fresh insight into the people, places, and promises found throughout Scripture. Whether you're new to Bible study or you've been Bible your entire life, these live streams will help you connect the dots, strengthen your faith, and better understand the times we're living in. Don't miss this opportunity to grow in your knowledge of God's Word. Join these life-changing Bible study live streams right now. Find the link in the description of this episode. Share the link on all your social media so your friends can join in too. Again, the link is in the description of this episode. Look at the description and click it right now.
Yeah, guys, do me a favor. Check out that Bible study. The link is in the description, and it's a very good Bible study, and it's put together by a listener and watcher of the program. All right, so support them and check them out. Click the link and check out those live streams. All right, we'll be back in about 35 seconds. If you're on hold, stand by. The number is toll free and pinned in the live chat. Oh man, okay. 25 seconds, we'll be back. 15 seconds. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. And everyone, please like the video. Okay, guys, that really helps a lot. Welcome back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Steve from Staten Island.
Hey, Steve.
And I'm just listening to the radio answers. I just can't believe that these type of politicians want to get rid of the Senate. This is the heart of America, the heart of our.
Well, it's called our government. They want to eliminate half of the legislative branch, eliminate the entire executive branch, and also do away with the independent judiciary branch. That's an overthrow of the government.
That is that's what these I don't know how to say it. All of these type of countries like Cuba trying to hide,
Yes.
trying to destroy the right good systems for their what do you call it? Their type of politics.
Yep.
That's what you can say.
Indeed.
That's a good day. I'd say that's a bit of the dangerous.
It is well. If you're calling for the overthrow of the government, which is what they're doing, they're not legal. It's an illegal party. It's a party of sedition, a party of treason, and it needs to be shut down and outlawed. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call, Staten Island. You take care. Great call from Staten Island. Oh, here we go. You got to get ready for this one, Mike. I can tell already. I can see by the way the line's blinking. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Florida. Hey, all these people you're talking about overthrow the government.
Okay, all right. Yeah. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Man, the first thing I want to say is I 100% agree with you. I think they should make it illegal to be a Democratic Socialist Party in America.
Yeah.
But you know what they're going? But you know what they're going to say? Oh, we're just supposed to ignore them. We can't do that because it's freedom of speech. Enough is enough, though, man. These guys got to go. They're destroying the country, and I don't know why anybody would even think about voting for them. But this country's gone nuts. I don't know why anybody does it. You know. And the other thing is, then you mentioned Mandani. You know, I read, and I'm hoping this is correct. I read that he won by 200,000 votes, but yet they found out in New York there's way over 200,000 people that weren't supposed to be on the voter rolls.
Yeah, shocker.
They're supposed to be investigating that to see if he really won the election or not. They had fake votes.
Yeah.
So that'd be great if they could get rid of him, and because he's got to go too. What they're pulling is.
Well, if you are, I mean, I want you to think about this. If you are calling for the elimination, and remember, this is the party platform that the Democrat Socialist of America met and wrote and released 3 weeks ago, right? They're calling for the elimination of the executive branch of government. We're a government with 3 branches. That's the presidency. 1 branch gone. The elimination of the Senate, half of the legislature, and an oversight committee the party puts in place to oversee the Supreme Court and the court system. So the 3rd branch, the independent judiciary, is just a puppet that's no longer independent. So that's an overthrow of the government. That's sedition, that's treason, and that's not legal.
Yeah, well, they'll turn around and say, "Well, it's just our ideas. We want to have."
Yeah, but they're running for office and they have people in Congress. So no, you can't do that.
And we got to find out who funds these people and see what we can do against those people. Because man, these people have to get.
Well, a lot of the funding is coming from people that didn't have to have a translator tell them what Ahmed said in Arabic during his acceptance speech. If you know, a lot of it's probably coming from China and probably Putin. I don't know, but I know this: it doesn't matter where their funding's coming from; they're illegal. The party needs to be shut down. Their members expelled from Congress.
Yeah, man, that would be fantastic. I think that's really what's needed. But you know, this Congress that we have, there's too many of them there to make problems. It'll never happen, I don't think. But it'd be great if it did, man. Because every time I hear these people, I want to shut the TV off. How can anybody listen to these people?
Yeah.
But they do. They do, and if we finally get the election to be secure, maybe we can stop it that way as well. Because I think there's a lot of fake votes and going on, and if that's going on, then and hacking our election and everything else, they got to.
Well, you know, the question is, you know, like Ahmed, the Democrats are fighting hard. The establishment Democrats are fighting hard against the Democrat Socialist Communist of America. So I would hope that they wouldn't bring out the Democrat Party machine in November. They may not. In a lot of these races, they may be running like without the Democrat Party machine. And you know what I mean by that. All right, Doug, hey, listen, take care.
Yeah.
So the president, he gave an interview on Fox, and he was asked about this latest assassination attempt in California. Yeah, so now we're finding out through Fox News that the president called off the attack on Iran over the weekend because someone leaked the plans to the media, and that's how the Iranians got a hold of the plans. That scared them, according to the president. But the battle plan got leaked out by someone. This is bizarro world we're in right now, quite frankly. I mean, I've never seen this. And what the media are involved in with the Democrat Party is an insurrection against the executive branch of government, the President of the United States. If you're leaking out the war plans, and that's an insurrection. You're attempting to interrupt the government business of the chief executive. If that's not an insurrection, what is? By your own definition, after January 6th, the interruption of government business is an insurrection. So how is this not an insurrection? All right, callers on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, please do. After the top of the hour, you will not want to miss after the top of the hour. I've got a big story out of Florida I'm going to cover. We've got so much to cover on the program today. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. And those of you that are new to the program, all opinions are welcome on this program. And the calls are all screenless and unvetted. We don't have someone answer the phones. When you call in, I just put you on hold. You hang there on hold. And when you hear me say, what's your name? Where are you calling from? That's the first time anyone knows who you are on the line. So all opinions are welcome. The phone number is toll-free, and the calls are all screenless and completely unvetted. Your opinions certainly are welcome. 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Friendly Tire in Margate, where you can get new tires out the door and on the road as low as $75 a tire. That's amazing. And he can get tires for any type of vehicle. And some of the cars I see over there are amazing. And remember, when I say out the door and on the road, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or even dispose of your old tires. Okay? And I just got 4 new tires on my Mini Cooper at Friendly Tire in Margate. And I got 4 tires, brand new, out the door and on the road for less than what the dealer wanted for 1. Not an exaggeration, guys. I only needed 2, but the price was so low, I got 4 because I wanted them all to match and have the same tread. It's a great deal. Give him a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. Hold on one second here. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Kurt from Maine.
Okay.
By...
What's up, Maine?
Hey, listen, I tell you what, I believe that taking these guys, if we just, I gotta shut this phone off. Okay. This New York governor definitely needs, Mayor Donnie there, what his name is, he definitely needs to be held accountable because this is beyond treason. You know, everything that he's trying to pull is against the Christian and the U.S.
Well, Mom Donnie is Mom Donnie and Bernie Sanders are the leaders of the Democrat Socialist of America.
Yes.
And the Democrat Socialist of America are calling for the overthrow of the U.S. government. It's
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, they should need to be held accountable because we can't go on like this. Mm-hmm. This isn't what our founding fathers, put forth to us.
Yeah. I mean, what's the feeling in Maine? I mean, you've got this Democrat Socialist running for Senate against Susan Collins that's married to his cousin. I
know.
What's the word?
I know.
How many people know?
Governor.
How many people know about that in the state of Maine that you know? Do people know that he's married to his cousin?
No, we don't hear nothing up here.
Yeah.
You know, and in the country we're Republican, but down in the city it's all Democrat. And
Yes.
That's all you hear. I try to call radio stations and say stuff, but you never hear it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we got a lot of listeners in Maine.
But,
You're the second caller from Maine today, but tell all your friends, and they can Google it, right?
Yeah.
He's married to his second cousin, and he's not embarrassed by it. He has 2 children with her.
I know, it's
That's
unbelievable.
sick, twisted.
But we need to get our governor out of office first.
Well, let's
You know,
let's win the Senate seat, because we need a Republican senator for the majority count. Listen, I got to run for the top of the hour break, Maine, but take care. All right. Okay, we'll take our break for the top of the hour. Got a big story that I'm going to cover when we get back. So hang in there. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, come back with more of your calls and some other very big stories, so hang in there. We'll be back right after this. Tell you guys, things are getting nuts out there. Oh yeah, they absolutely are.
Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions? You work hard, but feel stuck, exhausted, or disconnected from the life you truly want. It's time to stop surviving and start living. And you can do just that with the book from author Jane Morales Moras. Stop dragging, start living, reclaim your purpose and power. Available on Amazon. This inspiring and practical guide will help you break free from self-doubt, rediscover your purpose, and build the confidence to create the life you've always dreamed of. With this must-read and life-changing book, you'll discover how to reconnect with your dreams, overcome negativity, build resilience, set healthy boundaries, and align your emotions with your goals so you can finally move forward with clarity and purpose. Whether you're a student, entrepreneur, professional, or simply someone ready for a fresh start, this empowering book provides real-world actionable strategies to help you stop living by other people's expectations and start becoming the person you're meant to be. Your purpose is waiting. Your best life is still ahead of you. Stop dragging. Start living. Reclaim your purpose and power. From author Jane Morales Moras is available right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. Start your transformation right now and order your copy of Stop Dragging. Start living. Reclaim your purpose and power on Amazon. What if you could understand the Bible as one complete story? From creation to Jesus to the fulfillment of end times prophecy. Now you can with engaging, eye-opening Bible study live streams where scripture goes together in a clear, easy-to-follow way that will deepen your understanding of God's Word. Discover how the events unfolding in today's world fit into the bigger picture God revealed throughout the Bible. Explore biblical prophecy. And better understand the times we're living in. Don't miss this opportunity to grow in your knowledge of God's Word. Join these life-changing Bible study live streams right now. Find the link in the description of this episode. Share the link on all your social media so your friends can join you too. Again, the link is in the description of this episode. Look at the description and click it right now.
All right, we'll be back shortly, guys. Yeah, so please click that link. It's in the description. And we'll be back in about 90 seconds. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll take more calls when we get back. If you're just joining, there's been another assassination attempt against the president. This time it is stopped in California. The assassin is in custody, due in court later today, California time. And there was a security scare with the president on board Marine One in D.C. yesterday. Okay, we got about 1 minute and we'll be back. And I've got some new things we're going to get to as well. Okay. Less than a minute. Yep. All right, 25 seconds. Hang in there. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. This is Dave from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, we definitely are in bizarre world.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a question. Say if one of these DSA candidates would win in November, you know, with their views on how they want the government to look like, how do they get past the swearing in with the oath of how you're supposed to defend the Constitution of the United States?
Well, yeah, exactly. And Mike Johnson needs to refuse to seat them in Congress.
Yeah, because some of them need to be removed because they're not defending, you know, the ones that are in there now. They need to be removed, being the insurrectionists.
Yep.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's true.
I like to see some arrests coming up because this is getting a little out of hand.
Well, we got the assassin in custody in California, the latest Trump assassin. Yeah. So you know, there's an arrest.
Some of these government officials need to be looked at too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Ilhan
Omar. I mean, how's she still walking around with her amended financial form? How's she walking around free? Shouldn't she be in jail or in Somalia or something by now?
And that Tim Walz, and we can go on and on.
Democrats have immunity to do anything they want to do. All right, the second hour has begun. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. Okay, we've got a big primary coming up here in Florida. Early voting has begun. We have a very important race. It's called the governor's race, okay? The governor's race here in Florida, the Republican primary is very important. Byron Donalds is endorsed by the president, and he is in first place by a lot. Not only is Byron Donalds endorsed by the president, yesterday he was endorsed by Rick Scott, who's one of our senators, and he was the governor. Very, very good governor. He was an incredible governor, Rick Scott. He was a two-term governor, the governor right before Ron DeSantis just endorsed Byron Donalds, and he's the Rick Scott representing Florida in the Senate. The latest poll showed Byron Donalds not just in the lead in the Republican primary for governor, he leads by 34 points. He's 34 points ahead of the second place person. He's at 50%. In second place is the Lieutenant Governor, Jay Collins, at 16. Third place is Unsure, that's 14%. And then James Fishsticks, is in fourth place at 12%. And Fishsticks is behind the Unsure, which is pretty low at 12%. So Byron Donalds is not just in the lead, he's 34 points in the lead. And yesterday, Fishsticks has just lost his mind, okay? He did two things. This is James Fishback. I call him Fishsticks. It's probably what he had to grow up hearing. This is James Fishsticks. Remember, he's supposed to be a Republican. In an announcement that he made, it looks like he's in a school or public library with 4 American flags behind him, and at a podium at the library trying to look all official. Listen.
Good morning. My name is James Fishback, Republican candidate for Florida governor. I'm speaking to you not as a political candidate, but as a fellow Floridian and a proud American. A whistleblower came to my campaign recently with direct and disturbing evidence about a previously unreported felony crime committed by Byron Donalds. Not Byron Donalds, my opponent. Byron Donalds, the United States Congressman. My legal team has now fully vetted and verified this evidence. It is incontrovertible and it is damning. I will be holding a press conference in my personal capacity as a proud Republican, resident of Florida, and American citizen to share this evidence with the public. Congressman Donalds, I want to speak directly to you for a moment, if I may. You and I both know what you did. Let's just be honest. And if you come to the public and share the full extent of your criminal history, I will cancel my press conference. I believe it's better for them look to the leadership of Governor DeSantis, and that sunshine is always the best disinfectant.
Okay. And by the way, the sunshine disinfectant, that's a Florida thing. We have a thing in government in Florida. It's called the Sunshine Law. And since we're the Sunshine State, everything has sunshine in it. But the Sunshine Law means that all government business has to be conducted in the sunshine in public, no backroom deals. And the sunshine being a disinfectant is a common phrase in Florida. So this whole thing stinks, and I'm going to call BS on it. And if he has crimes that Byron Donalds has committed as a congressman, why would he wait till Thursday? He released this yesterday on Tuesday. Today is Wednesday, because Fish Sticks here is risking somebody else jumping the gun on his story, right? And so I say the whole thing stinks. And there's another problem here, and then there's more. He pulled another stunt, which I get to in a second. Fish Sticks. This is so destructive. If this race were close, it'd be one thing, but it's not even close. Not that I would approve of what Fish Sticks is doing if it was close. Remember, Byron Donalds is 34 points ahead of the number 2. Fish Sticks is in 4th place behind undecided voters, okay? That's pretty low, pretty back, far back. This is so destructive. And what happens in a situation like this, Fish Sticks, Fish Sticks is new to the scene. So I don't know enough about him. No one knows enough about him to know what his true motivations are. So I know a lot of people want to say he's a fake Republican. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he's just wants to be a media star like a lot of people his age, wants to be a social media celeb. I don't know. Maybe he's a Democrat. We don't know. He hasn't been on the scene long enough for us to know what his true motivations are. But what he's doing is so destructive, because when you pull something like this in a primary, what he's doing is damaging the man who is going to win, Byron Donalds. He's 34 points ahead. And so when he goes into the general election against the Democrat scumbucket that the Democrats nominate, they're going to have all the Fish Sticks info to use against Byron Donalds in November. All right, so then this next clip, Byron Donalds, he was in studio doing a radio interview over on the Gulf of America coast, and they're taking live calls. So let me play this and listen carefully to the caller. When you first hear the voice, does it sound familiar?
We've got a call from Thomas. Go ahead.
Well, good morning, and good morning, Congressman Donalds. Happy first day of early voting. Congressman Donalds, you claim to be a staunch advocate of school choice. I just want to ask how you're going to hold charter schools accountable in the rare but serious cases when they see fraud.
Do you hear it? Do you recognize the voice? Yeah, it's Fish Sticks. It's James Fish Sticks. Okay, he called in as Thomas. Oh my goodness, this is the garbage that the troll. He's a troll. This is what the trolls try to pull here. I'm going to play the whole call, and this weakling hack host, how she handled it was disgusting. Listen.
We've got a call from Thomas in Jacksonville. Good morning, Thomas. Go ahead.
Well, good morning, and good morning, Congressman Donalds. Happy first day of early voting. Congressman Donalds, you claim to be a staunch advocate of school choice. I just want to ask how you're going to hold charter schools accountable in the rare but serious cases when they defraud parents, investors, and taxpayers, namely Optima Classical Academy, which you and your wife abruptly shut down and left hundreds of students scrambling. I thank you for that question again. This is James Thomas Fishback.
Thank you, Mr. Fishback, for calling in.
And so, first off, Byron Donalds recognized Fish Sticks' voice right out the gate, because he went, And then at the end, they put him on the air as Thomas. Then he gives his full name at the end. And then the host just thanks him for his call. Now, if somebody pulled that here, you know how I handle these callers. I would not have hung up on the caller. I would have had a very, very serious conversation with Fish Sticks. But Byron, listen to how it transpires after the weakling host let Fish Sticks go.
Thank you for that question again. This is James Thomas Fishback.
Thank you, Mr. Fishback, for calling in. So that is a question from your opponent, obviously. But you have been a big supporter movement in this state. Erica Donald, you know,
Well, if you don't,
yeah.
let me respond. First of all, I've been an ardent supporter of school choice ever since I've been involved in politics. When I was in the state legislature, I passed the largest expansion of school choice in its kind in the state's history to that point. It was the Hope Scholarship. I passed that legislation. We had that signed into law by then Governor Scott. Governor Scott signed it into law. When it comes to my wife's companies that she had, she started and operated 5 charter schools in the state of Florida. They're all still in operations today. We've been very focused. She's been very focused and diligent on making sure that kids have every opportunity to get a world-class education, and that their parents have the ability to make those decisions. I think to the one school in Southwest Florida, which is being talked about, they weren't able to open up that school on time, in part because of the academic.
Yeah, okay. So there you have. I mean, so what Fish Sticks is doing is so low life, so destructive to the Republican Party, and risking giving us a Democrat governor. We're going to take our first break of the second hour. If you're on hold, stand by. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I've got so much more to share. I'll comment more on this as well. The number is toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. I mean, this is one of the most low-life things I have ever seen a politician do, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty low-life. There's no doubt about it. Now, those of you out there that are Medicare recipients, I want to talk to you about Chapter. Chapter covers all of the United States. So no matter where you are in the United States, give Chapter a call. They will review your Medicare policy at no charge. When you call, you can call right now if you want. You'll be speaking to a licensed Medicare advisor. They'll review your policy to make sure that you have the right policy. And since they're a national company, they have access to all of the over 25,000 Medicare policies out there. They'll make sure that the policy you have is the perfect policy for you. If the one you have is all right, they'll tell you that too. And if you're paying for a supplement, they'll make sure you're not paying too much, or if you even need that supplement. Give them a call, no matter where you're located, 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. That's 805-754-3033 for Chapter. All right? This thing that Fish Sticks is doing is really angering to me. You know, if he was a Democrat, it'd be okay, I'd get it, but this is a Republican. I mean, come on. We're still in radio break, so when we get back, I'll continue with that. We'll take more of your calls as well. If you want to call in, the toll-free number to call the program is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be back in about 90 seconds or so. And if you guys could do me the favor of liking the video, if you've not already done it, please like the video. When you like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So liking the video helps so much, guys. Please like the video. And those of you that are new, welcome. Okay. No, you can call from the UK. I get calls from the UK, France, Australia all the time. Dee Dee's a liar. You can call from the UK. We get calls from Canada. Got a call from a Canadian yesterday. We get calls from all over the world. Yep. Oh boy. Yeah. All right. A little more than a minute. We'll be back. Hang in there, guys. Oh, less than a minute. I get calls from Europe all the time. All the time. The UK, Scotland, France, Australia. We get calls from Africa. Other countries in Canada as well. You know, what it is with liberals, what liberals do is try to get you to, for whatever reason, tune out. Like, you know, sometimes they'll say, oh, no sound, but there's sound. Or the phones don't work from such a place, which they do. There was a guy that called me on the podcast yesterday afternoon. We just invaded Iran. So people would turn off, people just, that's how the left are. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. I want to talk about this fish sticks plot against Byron Donalds and what he's doing. Like I said, we don't have enough history on fish sticks to know what his true motivations are. Is he a fake conservative, liberal? Is he just someone who wants to be famous and a viral internet star? We don't know enough about him to really know, but I know this. He's no MAGA Republican. I've had my problems with Ron DeSantis. There is no doubt about it. Okay? He betrayed President Trump, and there's no question about it. But he has been the greatest governor this state has ever had. He really, truly has. He's trying to rid us of property taxes on our homesteaded property right now, and that's a dream come true. It would be life-changing for people here in Florida. My goodness. It really is, and he's done so many great things as governor, and Byron Donalds will continue that, and he's got the backing and endorsement of the president, and Fish Sticks is pulling this. All right, our number is 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Dave from Fort Lauderdale. How you doing?
All right, Fort Lauderdale.
Well, I just wanted to say real quick, I won't take up too much of your time. Fish Sticks, Fishback, is funded by the Muslim Brotherhood. He's funded by the people.
I don't know that to be true. I don't know that to be true.
I looked it up.
Well, I'll tell you what. Send it to me, and I'll look at it. Okay. But I'm not. But I you can send it to me. I'm very, very well known and easy to get a hold of. Okay. Just look me up online. Just Google me, and you'll see multiple social media platforms where you can message me. See, liberals. Fish Sticks operates like a Democrat. Okay. And what Democrats are always trying to do is infiltrate our movement and try to divert and sabotage. You see this all the time. I give you some examples just with me that's happened. Like during the break, in one of my live chats that are going on while I'm on the air, there's someone in there telling them the phone doesn't work. Right? Don't call. The phone lines don't work. They just made that up, trying to get people not to call. Sometimes people in the live chats will say, "Oh, I can't hear anything. The audio doesn't." Trying to get people to turn off. Yesterday afternoon on my podcast, and you guys, I do an afternoon podcast on YouTube, Brian Craig Show on YouTube, where I take live calls just like this, and I go to the calls. The first call, Brian, we have boots on the ground. We just invaded Iran. And the reason he did that is he was trying to get people to tune me off and turn on the TV or go somewhere where they were reporting the fictitious invasion of Iran. And everything the left do is basically they just lie. They're a party of liars, okay? And they lie and distract and get these fake narratives going on. I don't know what, and even with that last caller there, you know what I mean? Another tactic the liberals try to do, and they fall flat because when they pretend to be conservatives, okay, since they're not really conservatives, they behave from a stereotype, and you got to have a close ear. So what this guy's trying to get me to do, that just called in, is, oh, really? Oh, let me look into. Oh my goodness, I can't believe. What do you think I am, an idiot? Bring up something so stupid that doesn't even make sense. On yesterday's show, right? There was, this is what liberals do. This is, and by the way, they're international. Some of our callers in other countries get a call from a guy. This was towards the end of yesterday's show, okay? And he said he was in Michigan and he was going to vote for Ahmed, who won the primary in Michigan. And I asked him where he was on 9/11, and he says, I was picking my son up at school. And then I asked him another question, and he says, well, I said, where were you? And he says, when they got attacked, remember they? I said, they? Don't you mean we? And I smoked him out. I could hear it in his voice anyway, but that was a conversation. I heard a little bit of an accent. I said, you're a Canadian. Stolen valor. You're a Canadian. Try to pass yourself off as American to get this narrative going. Everything with the liberals is a lie. Everything. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Angela Santonio. I got to
No. You're the one that called and did that thing yesterday. Enough. I mean, give me a break. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So everything with the left, if you're on hold, hang in there. Everything with the left, no matter what it is, no matter how minor it is all about lies and deception. That's how they roll. All right, calls on hold. You stand by. If you'd like to call in, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are located. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Dennis from Blacksburg.
Okay. What state is that?
Hey, buddy, man.
What state is that?
What's that? South Carolina.
Okay, South Carolina. Okay. Well, okay, South Carolina.
Hey, man, I was just listening to the fishback, story or whatever. This guy's a shill, man. I think Byron can see it. He's a paid actor. Anybody that would want to destroy the own Republican Party, the way he's doing it, not just doing it, but the way he's trying to do it, is absolutely, you can see straight through it, man.
Well, what he acts like a Democrat, is what he acts like.
He does.
He
does.
Yeah.
And the minute he said, I'm going to tear down the Republican Party, the people in the audience even looked like they were paid to be there.
Yeah.
You could see it, man. That's why Byron, he's not going to sink to that level to happen a debate with someone who clearly has, bad means.
Well, Byron Donalds turned down the debate with the other the other Republicans running in the primary against him. Why should he? He's 34 points ahead, right? So
that makes no sense.
He'll debate the Democrat in the general election.
Exactly. The man has nothing to say. If he was closer, maybe. But even then, you could see straight through it. And I think that's where we're at now. Politics has moved to a whole new era where they will try anything possible.
Well, if you see, this is what's going on. They're going after MAGA people, right? They're going after Byron Donalds. They're going after that thing with Vivek and that where they had those plans cussing and booing him off stage at a speech on Friday. Max Miller, what's going on with him? They're going after MAGA Trump endorsed candidates all over the place, and they're trying to do it as if it's Republicans are going after them.
Exactly. This man don't come out of nowhere unless he's paid. I just hate to say it, but Florida's smart. These people are smart in Florida. They know exactly. They can see it. They smell it a mile away.
Well,
and I just have faith in them.
Well, Fish Sticks is in 4th place, right, behind the undecideds, who have no names. So he's behind an anonymous candidate that they don't, So, he's pretty far behind. But he's good.
Yeah.
But he is very good at social media. All right. And
I think he's absolutely smart, and that's why they came after him. That's why they chose him to do what they're doing. He's definitely a step ahead. He's at the right age bracket. They did their homework. The Democrats did their homework.
All right, South Carolina. All right, appreciate the call.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas, and you guys hear me so often talk about all the great work that Jupiter Joe Thomas does with annuities and how they can help you, and you get that monthly check every month. But Joe Thomas, he offers a no-charge consultation, which you can take advantage of no matter where you are. Now, if you're local and you want to meet him in his office in Jupiter, that's awesome. Do it. Okay? Meet him, meet his family. But if you can't make it to his office and you're not local, that's okay too. You can take advantage of the no-charge consultation over the phone or through a video call. And after that consultation, Joe Thomas will put together a custom proposal just for you based on your situation. But from time to time, I like to share this with you so you can understand the value of the free consultation you're getting with Jupiter Joe Thomas. First off, he's been in the retirement planning business for well over 30 years, and he's also a 5-time qualifying member of the $1 Million Roundtable, which is achieved by fewer than 1% of all financial advisors in the world. Think about that. So he's a top man in the financial advisement industry, and he's offering you a free consultation, after which he's going to give you a custom proposal. That's some very valuable expert advice you're getting. Give Joe Thomas a call, all right? 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. You can also find his number on his website, jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back. All right, hang in there, guys. We'll be back shortly.
What if you could understand the Bible is one complete story, from creation to Jesus to the fulfillment of end times prophecy? Now you can with engaging, eye-opening Bible study live streams, where Scripture comes together in a clear, easy-to-follow way that will deepen your understanding of God's Word. Discover how the events unfolding in today's world fit into the bigger picture God revealed throughout the Bible. Explore biblical prophecy and what it says about the future. Compare God's truth with Satan's deception. Examine the evidence for creation versus evolution, and gain fresh insight into the people, places, and promises found throughout Scripture. Whether you're new to Bible study or have been reading the Bible your entire life, these live streams will help you connect the dots, strengthen your faith, and better understand the times we're living in. Don't miss this opportunity to grow in your knowledge of God's Word. Join these life-changing Bible study live streams right now. Find the link in the description of this episode. Share the link on all your social media so your friends can join in too. Again, the link is in the description of this episode. Look in the description and click it right now.
Hi, Tom Laporta here. We are Laporta Roofing, a family business since 1983. You are our customer. In other words, our boss. We are here for and because of you, not the other way around. The 2026 roofing season is upon us. Because we haven't had a hurricane in 2 years, all the storm chaser roofing companies have gone out of business, leaving only the strongest and the best contractors. At Laporta Roofing, we will never sell you a roof you don't need. We don't have salesmen or commissions, so we will never pressure you to sign a contract. Also, deposits are not required. At Laporta
If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free and pinned in the live chat, okay? 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. And also, please, guys, make sure that you like the video if you don't mind, okay? Okay, we had just over a minute till we're back. Oh, perfect. All right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Hey, Brian. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing well. What do you have for us this morning?
This morning, I wanted to talk about what we do. Part of our practice is elder law, and elder law applies to people who need to make sure that they don't run out of money during their lifetime because they got ill and needed care, or their spouse got ill and needed care. And we all know the cost of care is very, very high, and it continues to go up. So if you don't have a plan to pay for that care, whether it be long-term care insurance, or unless you're like just completely wealthy, ultra high net worth, and you can afford to take on that risk yourself, then really this is something you need to think about. And that's what we help people do at the Siegel Law Group. We help people qualify to get government benefits, and that government benefit is Medicaid. Now, if you're unfortunately impoverished and you have very low assets, under $2,000, and you're under the $29.82 monthly income, you don't need a firm like us because you already would qualify. And if you're ultra high net worth, and it's really hard to put a number to it, but let's just say, for example, if you're over $5 or $10 million, probably you may not need us either. But for those who are, and it's really hard to put a number to it, but let's just say for this call, 5 million or below, this is something you might want to think about because you could still qualify. Not everybody, I can't say that 100%, but many of you can, because you'll be surprised. Not all of your assets count towards that asset limit. And even if you're over what are called countable assets, there are still things you can do. There's still planning you can do to make sure that you can qualify, both on the asset side and on the income side. So it's really important for those of you who are already receiving care or about to need care, and you don't have a plan, you should call us. And for those of you who are concerned about this for the future, you should be calling us because there's things that we may be able to do, some planning that we can do now that could make you eligible in the future, that if you don't do it now, you might be ineligible. So it's important to plan and be prepared.
Absolutely. And the biggest mistake I think people make, Barry, is they assume they don't qualify, so they try to pay for it themselves, and then people that have worked hard their whole life find themselves broke and bankrupt before they know it. And you very well could avoid doing all of that. Listen, call the Siegel Law Group and schedule your no-charge in-office consultation, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right,
so
take
much,
care.
Brian.
All right, thank you. Those of you on hold, stand by. I've covered a lot today, but the lead story that I started with when I opened right after 6, and I want to go through the details of this because it's so horrific. There's been another assassination attempt on the president, this time in California, and the assassin is in custody in California and is expected in court today. And this assassin, this was a hardcore operation this guy was running. This is from the New York Post, I'm going to read from, okay? Although this is being widely reported, this is from the New York Post. An armed man scouted President Trump's California golf club before the commander-in-chief's visit. Investigators say the arrest uncovered an illegal rifle, body armor, and a weapons stash. The suspect was charged in a federal criminal complaint with possessing an unregistered short-barreled rifle after his arrest Saturday at Trump's National Golf Club in Los Angeles. This felony carries a mandatory minimum of 10 years in federal prison. Okay, that's just on that one. Federal agents were conducting security sweeps ahead of President Trump's August 4th visit when they spotted the suspect on July 31st walking around the golf course wearing an earpiece. I've got a sneeze coming on, guys, so bear with me. But he was wearing an earpiece to try to pass himself off as official Secret Service. I'm allergic to liberals, and a few have called me today, so it's brought on my allergy. Federal agents were conducting security sweeps ahead of Trump's August 4th visit when they spotted the suspect July 31st walking around the golf course wearing an earpiece while taking photos and videos of security planning activities. He returned to the club Saturday, prompting the staff who work for the president to alert authorities. The suspect approached federal agents and falsely claimed he worked for the State Department and was assigned to a security detail. So he's got an earpiece, so people looking at him think he's with the Secret Service. Then he approaches federal agents and claims to be a federal agent himself. He told the federal agents that he had a loaded firearm inside his pickup truck parked at the club. LA County Sheriff's deputies responded, discovered he had an outstanding warrant tied to a robbery. The deputies also found a 16-round magazine loaded with hollow point ammunition in his pocket. A search of his pickup turned up a loaded 9mm pistol with a round chambered and another loaded magazine filled with hollow points. He also had binoculars and a badge labeled Security Protection Agent. Investigators searched his home Sunday, where they seized an illegally modified AR platform rifle that had never been registered in the National Firearms Registration and Transfer Record, which I don't even know how that's possible. That's like a professional assassin gun. Along with additional firearms, ammunition, high-capacity magazines, body armor, an earpiece, 2 radio signal devices, and notebooks containing concerning statements. This is nuts. And they have photographs, by the way, of everything. It looks like a military rifle, looking at it. He's also facing firearms-related charges and a 2025 robbery case in L.A., where he was granted bail on. He's expected to make his initial appearance today in federal court. He is in federal custody. The incident's being investigated by the Secret Service, FBI, ATF, and the LA County's Sheriff's Office. I mean, my goodness, this is the 5th assassination attempt since starting with the White House Correspondents' Dinner, however many weeks ago that was. Between then and now, this is the 5th assassination attempt on the president or a member of the Trump family in that time period. Now, without making a complete list, which I've got to sit down and do that one weekend. I mean, there's been so many. President Trump has had more assassination attempts against him than all of the other presidents combined. But there have been at least 15. And some of them get no news, right? The sniper's nest at the airport, the mysterious object on the road between Mar-a-Lago and the airport, where the presidential motorcade had to take a high-speed alternate route through downtown West Palm Beach. The guy who drove his pickup truck through the gate of Mar-a-Lago and was shot dead on the lawn of Mar-a-Lago a couple of months back. I mean, there's so many that may have forgotten a lot of them. But this latest one, this was a serious op. And this guy was really planning it. I don't know how you get a gun like that. That's like a totally unregistered gun, no serial numbers, nothing on it. Body armor, ammo, fake badge, an earpiece to pass himself off as Secret Service. He was scouting it out and planning. He was prepared for a prolonged gunfight. That's where the body armor comes in. All right. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. If you're on hold, stand by. Okay. Oh, I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You know, Coastal Weight Loss Secret is home of the metabolic reset. And what I've come to learn with Coastal Weight Loss Secret is how I've kept the weight off. And keeping the weight off has been really easy for me. It's been effortless. And I thought it was because when I was losing the weight, and boy, oh boy, did I lose a lot of weight, and it feels great, right? I love it. Every time I come across some more clothing in the back of my closet or the back of a dresser drawer that no longer fits me, that I can get rid of, it's so awesome. And this is happening all the time. It can happen with you too. But because when I lost all the weight, I didn't starve myself. No pills, no shots, no injections. I ate foods I would normally eat, and I didn't do any exercise. So there were no big lifestyle changes. So when I got into the maintain phase, which is where I am now, I lost all the weight I wanted to lose and much more. And I got to a point, I said, that's where I want to be. I'm at the weight I weighed 30 years ago when my wife and I married. That's where I want to stay. And I haven't gained back a single ounce. Well, the reason that I've kept the weight off without effort is not only because I didn't have any big lifestyle changes when I lost the weight. It's because Dr. Zuckerman at Coastal Weight Loss Secret has reset my metabolism. And that's why I've kept the weight off. Give him a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. You can do it. I've been on one weight loss program, and I lost a lot more weight than I set out to lose, and it was easy. Okay? And you could do it too. 561-359-3418. 561-359-3418. That's 561-359-3418. And online, coastalweightlosssecret.com. We'll take our last break of the second hour and be right back. All right, guys, hang in there. We'll be back.
What if you could understand the Bible as one complete story? From creation to Jesus to the fulfillment of end times prophecy. Now you can with engaging, eye-opening Bible study live streams where Scripture comes together in a clear, easy-to-follow way that will deepen your understanding of God's Word. Discover how the events unfolding in today's world fit into the bigger picture God revealed throughout the Bible. Explore biblical prophecy and what it says about the future. Compare God's truth with Satan's deception. Examine the evidence for creation versus evolution and gain fresh insight into the people, places, and promises found throughout Scripture. Whether you're new to Bible study or have been reading the Bible your entire life, these live streams will help you connect the dots, strengthen your faith, and better understand the times we're living in. Don't miss this opportunity to grow in your knowledge of God's Word. Join these life-changing Bible study live streams right now. Find the link in the description of this episode. Share the link on all your social media so your friends can join in too. Again, the link is in the description of this episode. Look in the description and click it right now. Do you owe back taxes? Jamie Levac at Swift Tax is here to help. He's helped people just like you with their IRS problems, and he doesn't charge those outrageous high fees the other companies demand. Jamie Levac at Swift Tax charges only a small fraction of what those companies charge. Stop worrying every time the mailman comes that he's bringing you a letter from the IRS. Call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax right now, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587.
All right, we'll be back in just over a minute. And if you're on hold, stand by. And I've got some other things to get into. I'll take some more calls. And if you are on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. Now, all opinions are welcome. You know, you guys are pretty mouthy in the chat. You're welcome to call in and call me out on the air. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. All right. Less than a minute, about 50 seconds, and we'll be back. Stand by, guys. 30 seconds. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Welcome back, everyone. You know, I went to the gun store yesterday, and I picked out the shotgun that I'm getting, and but I discovered a new type of shotgun I'd never seen before, and it's not a new type of gun, but it's new to me. And I was looking at it, and I called my wife. I was like, I don't know, the pump looks so. I'm kind of on the fence. But I picked out the pump 12 gauge that I wanted. And then the guy showed me the semi-auto shotgun, the Beretta semi-auto shotgun, which I never knew there were semi-auto shotguns. And oh my goodness, I was like, I fell in love with it. I'm like, I don't know. And my wife's like, yeah, but it doesn't make that noise, you know, that ratcheting noise, which will get them to run away. And I was like, I know, but the semi-auto is so cool. It's a pretty cool. Anybody got a semi-auto Beretta shot? It was pretty cool. I got to tell you. Maybe I'll get them both. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. But when I went into the gun store, they have a gun range there, and they had a sign on the front door, which I had never seen before at a gun range. Never seen this sign before, but it tells you how things have changed. And it said. It said, if you or your clothing smell like marijuana, you will be turned away, and you can return when you don't smell like marijuana. And I'm like, is that a problem? Is that a problem? Are so many people going to the gun range smelling like marijuana? They got to actually put up a sign at the gun range? That's crazy. I was surprised to see that. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, welcome back. We've got a lot to cover, and we can certainly, you're welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far. But there's some other things too. And I want to talk about, you know, these Democrat socialists. The Democrat socialism is a lie, right? It is 100% communism. We all know this, okay? It's communism. And, you know, what's happening in this country is frightening. You know, what's been going on in Spain, well, that's been going on in this country for years and years and years. So we're in a worse situation than Spain is now with the Moroccan Muslim invasion that they have. Because our invaders, some of them have already been elected to office, and others are running for office. And once they're in office, they can start, in the legislative branches, they can start making new laws. And it's scary. And yesterday, this was kind of like his pre-acceptance speech, because it hadn't been called yet. Ahmed won the Democrat primary in Michigan, okay? And when he gave his acceptance speech, which he gave before it was officially announced, this is it, listen. Okay, now that funny word that he said that I don't understand, it's Arabic, and it's being translated everywhere. He said, God willing, in Arabic. Boy, you can tell who his constituency are. They knew what he said. If I was there and I heard him say it, I wouldn't know what he was saying. I'd say, what was he saying? Did I miss it? I missed it. But the crowd, they knew what he said. They understood the Arabic. Now, you may have understood the word too, if you understand Arabic, if you're Muslim. And I got to tell you, this is something that the Democrat socialists will try to stop you from saying. Americans are scared of Muslims for all kinds of reasons. And the question is, with Ahmed, will he take the crowd's reaction as a coming out moment where he's going to become more out of the closet? Will he be speaking more Arabic moving forward as we approach the general election, or will he try to sound like he's an American? Now, yesterday afternoon, Judge Janine, did you see this? She went to the Oval Office, and she had a face-to-face with President Trump, and he was asked about it last night when he was ready to board Air Force One in L.A. And she came out of the White House, and there was a photograph of her walking to her car from the White House, and she had a big briefcase that was on rollers, you know, kind of like you see people at the airport, or if you're ever at a doctor's office and the pharmaceutical reps come in. She had like a pharmaceutical rep briefcase on wheels, and she had a big white box filled with papers on it. And she had this one-on-one meeting with the president, and she did not look happy. And what I noticed about the photograph is that she was walking by herself. She didn't have anyone from her staff with her. No one from her staff was there to carry her briefcase or box. She had to carry it all herself. And in the photograph, none of her staff was around her. They didn't want to be, it's like her staff didn't want to be associated with her because she got chewed out by the president for dropping the charges against the Olympian that she got the indictment for vandalism of the reflecting pool. And she dropped the charges against a couple of others too. So last night on the tarmac, President Trump was asked if he's going to fire Judge Janine. Are you going to keep her in the position? And he was asked, and the president said, I haven't made a determination yet. What do you think? You think President Trump's going to fire her or let her resign? She was a woman alone yesterday when she walked out by herself carrying her own stuff. That's a person in her position doesn't normally walk around carrying their own stuff. And, you know, you really got to wonder, is she a TV actor? You know, she was always very tough on television, always supported President Trump, no doubt about it, but she couldn't stand up to the judge. And when President Trump said she choked, she couldn't handle the pressure from the judge. And the box and briefcase that Judge Janine was carrying is huge. And remember, I mean, she's an old lady. So I think she's more of a TV actor than somebody that can really do the job. And she's on her way out. And since no one in her staff was even in the photo shot with her and helping her with all of this stuff, they don't want to be seen with her. Well, listen, guys, I want to tell you about Life Imaging. August is National Wellness Month. So mark it on your calendar. Make August the time of year every year you go into Life Imaging and get your heart scan. You know, a lot of our listeners are going in as couples. Couples are going in together. And that makes a lot of sense because, you know, well, you may have, you know, history of heart disease in your family, and it's important to get checked. But spouses, you eat the same foods, right? So because of that, and maybe one of you smokes. If one of you smokes, you're both smoking, okay? But since you have a similar lifestyle when you're married, eating the same foods, exposed to the same things, it makes sense that couples go in together and get tested because you never know, right? You never know. You both may have a heart disease. In fact, one of our listeners, she went in with her husband. She called me on the air. They both found out they had heart issues, different ones. That's right. You know, Life Imaging, they have locations in Palm Beach County, Broward County, Dade County, and Orlando. And I got to tell you, when I went in for my heart scan, and I got all good reports. No plaque buildup, all my arteries clean. I've got the heart of a 25-year-old. It took such a weight off my shoulders and the shoulders of my family who had been worried about me for many, many years. When you're over at Life Imaging FLA, make sure you ask about their full body cancer screening and virtual colonography and say goodbye to sedation. Call right now for your free heart scan with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan and you will be connected in seconds. All right, the show is flying by. We only have 1 hour to go. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. That's right, celebrating 49 years on the radio. My name's Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, be back with more and your calls. All right, guys, hang in there. I'll be right back.
As your on-demand writing employee. Need blog posts? No problem. Newsletters? They do that too. LinkedIn content? No worries. Website copy? Even an ebook? Just send your request. There's no pre-word charges, no per-project invoices, and no surprise cost. With maywrites.co, you get unlimited writing requests for one simple monthly rate. It's like having a professional writer on your team. You'll get fast turnaround, consistent quality, and the freedom to worry about who will write your next piece of content. Best of all, you can try it free for 7 days. If it's not the right fit, you can cancel anytime. Stop chasing writers. Stop paying by the project and start creating more content with less stress. Visit maywrites.co right now. That's MAYWRITES. Maywrites.co. Your on-demand writing employee. What if you could understand the Bible as one complete story? From creation to Jesus to the fulfillment of end times prophecy. Now you can with engaging, eye-opening Bible study live streams where Scripture comes together in a clear, easy-to-follow way that will deepen your understanding of God's Word. Discover how the events unfolding in today's world fit into the bigger picture God revealed throughout the Bible. Explore biblical prophecy and what it says about the future. Compare God's truth with Satan's deception. Examine the evidence for creation versus evolution and gain fresh insight into the people, places, and promises found throughout Scripture. Whether you're new to Bible study or have been reading the Bible your entire life, these live streams will help you connect the dots, strengthen your faith, and better understand the times we're living in. Don't miss this opportunity to grow in your knowledge of God's Word. Join these life-changing Bible study live streams right now. Find the link in the description of this episode. Share the link on all your social media so your friends can join in too. Again, the link is in the description of this episode. Read the description and click it right now.
All right, we're still in radio break for the top. We'll be back in about a minute. So if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number is toll-free and pinned in the live chat. Okay, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. And guys, if you could please do me the favor of liking the video. When you like the video, it really helps so much. So please like the video. That gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So please do that. It helps a lot. And those of you that do that and have done it already, thank you for doing it, all right? It really is greatly appreciated. Less than 20 seconds. All right, the 8 o'clock hour has begun. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. If you're just tuning in, you've missed a lot. There's been another assassination attempt against President Trump. The assassin was arrested and is in custody. There was a security incident while the president was on Marine One in Washington, D.C. yesterday. I mean, it's just nonstop. And then, you know, a couple days ago, we were talking that Tucker Carlson had this bizarro meeting. It was Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Massey, and Joe Kent. Remember Joe Kent? He worked for Tulsi, and he left the White House over his opposition to the war in Iran. He's a high moral person. This is Joe Kent. He was on with Piers Morgan last night. You know, Piers Morgan, you know, he was the Celebrity Apprentice. I think he was the first, yeah. Piers Morgan was the first Celebrity Apprentice on Donald Trump's Celebrity Apprentice. So here's Piers Morgan. He had Joe Kent on last night. That's Joe Kent's going to speak next.
You know, things are in the initial phases right now, but there is a growing consensus on, I think, both the right and the left of people who are sick and tired of the Republican Party. They're sick and tired of the Democrat Party. They want us out of these foolish wars that we're just sitting here talking about right now. Most Americans have no idea what we're talking about. They don't know about Gaza. They don't know about the Straits of Hormuz. They just know that billions of their taxpayer dollars, their blood.
I love how this guy, he and Tucker and Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're so much smarter than the rest of us. They just understand things that we can't.
Our treasures, our sons, and our daughters continue to get sent overseas. Our best and brightest get killed. The taxpayer dollars get spent over there while things continue to decay here in America. And so what we're trying to do is just build a coalition of people who say we're finally going to put America first. We're not going to focus on the next foreign war. We're not going to listen to foreign lobbies like the Israelis. We're going to focus on the issues that matter here to the American people. And those of us that were there at that table, myself, Tucker, Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and there's others as well. We are people who initially were part of the MAGA movement, the Trump Republican Party, but we feel that we.
Oh, his audio went dead.
You were frozen right at the end there. Just to be clear, though, before we close things, could this involve establishing a new party?
Look, it certainly could. I mean, if you talk to most Americans out there, they're sick of the Republican Party, they're sick of the Democrat Party. They do want something that actually represents their interests. And again, we don't want any more foreign wars. We don't want any foreign lobbying in our government, and we want leadership in America that's going to feed people.
Yeah, okay. And he went on to say, his audio got real bad. He went on to say, Tucker is planning on running for president as a third-party alternative, and in the next presidential election. And you know, there's a lot of money to be made running for office and losing. Okay, there's a lot of people who spend their lives doing nothing but running for offices that they have no intention of. But you know, these what happens a lot of times with these people, the Tuckers, Trader Greene, Joe Kent, Mass, they get, you know, they surround themselves with sycophants. So everywhere they go, everyone tells them, "Oh, you should run. You're this. You're great." They all stand up. They hang on their every word, and they think they're a lot more important than they are. And Tucker's always had that problem, right? Remember when in Trump's first term, Tucker didn't think President Trump was doing enough involving COVID. Unannounced, he got in his car, drove to Mar-a-Lago, asked to see the president, and the president let him in. And then he went and told him everything he thought he was doing wrong. Yeah, Joe Kent was the leaker back then, that's right. So Tucker's always been full of himself. But they're presenting Tucker as, and I guess, will Marjorie Taylor Greene be his running mate? They're presenting Tucker as a former MAGA guy. He never was MAGA, okay? He never was a Trump. He was always trashing President Trump, always, okay? He is not a MAGA person. He's probably a CIA guy, like his father. But what they're going to do is they may actually start a third party that they call the MAGA party, the true MAGA party, or the Patriot Party. And what they want to do is start this party, not because they're going to win anything. They don't expect, Tucker, he doesn't expect to win the presidency of the United States, but they want to stop the future MAGA president, right? They want to stop, they want to take votes away. And this is a textbook CIA operation going on here. You know, the last time this happened in this country, and I didn't put this together until about a year or two ago when I finally put this together, But now Tucker Carlson's dad was a lifetime CIA guy. And remember when Tucker interviewed Putin, he said, "You tried to join the CIA, didn't we?" Tucker's dad was not only in the CIA, he was a lifetime CIA guy. He was connected to Monica Lewinsky, Tucker Carlson's dad. And he ran Voice of America and all of that. And the way Tucker Carlson is working with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Joe Kent and Massey is to have a legitimate third candidate that qualifies to be on the debate stage and on the ballot. And they don't need them on the ballot in every state, only in key states to take votes away from whoever it is, whether it's Trump in 28 or Marco or JD. They want a third candidate that they're labeling the true MAGA candidate to take votes away to give victory to the Democrats. This is what the CIA did with Ross Perot. I didn't realize, the first presidential election I was old enough to vote in was 92, and I voted for Ross Perot, and I didn't understand until about 1 or 2 years ago what that was all about. But that was a CIA op. And remember, Bill Clinton won in 92 with only about 43% of the vote because Ross Perot took conservative votes away from HW. That was a CIA op. Probably because of his perversions, Bill Clinton, he was their perfect candidate, and they could manipulate him. I don't know what H.W. Bush did to tick them off. And when I figured this out is a couple years ago, I was watching a documentary about Vietnam, and they were talking about the Tonkin Gulf incident, the fake attack that the Vietnamese made on a U.S. naval vessel that led to our involvement in the war in Vietnam. And when that fake attack was called in, they radioed, and an aircraft carrier sent 2 fighters. The commander of the naval squadron in the Tonkin Gulf incident was the man he was a commander at the time, but everybody knows him as Admiral Stockdale, and Admiral Stockdale was Ross Perot's running mate. So you think it's just a coincidence that Ross Perot's running mate was a guy involved in the Tonkin Gulf incident? I don't think so. It was a major CIA op, and they plugged Bill Clinton in for whatever devious reasons, which I don't know. And that's what Tucker is doing. Tucker is starting with Marjorie Taylor Greene, the true MAGA party, the true MAGA party. And like Ross Perot, to take votes away from who Trump chooses as his successor, which means whoever gets his endorsement to be the second MAGA president. This is some very, very sick, twisted, and devious stuff that's going on. I've got more after the break, so don't go anywhere. I want to take a moment to talk about Dr. Gupta and Brighton Dental. Brighton Dental has been with the Steve Kane Show for many, many years. And a couple things about Brighton Dental. He's a top dentist in the field, and he's one of the few dental practices out there that's truly independently owned. There have been big companies going all around South Florida for years buying up all the family dentist practices. And even though you go to these places and see the dentist that you've known for years and years and years, he's not the owner anymore. It's not his practice. He's an employee. And that's why the prices have gone up and the quality of care has gone down. Not Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental, right? He's independently owned. He owns it. It's a family practice. And his bedside manner shows. That's why, we talk about how Richie and others drive over 100 miles each way just to see Dr. Gupta, because he's a top dentist and he cares about his patients and does incredible follow-up with you. And also, his prices are family friendly as well. Okay, these big companies, they pay a lot of money to buy up these practices, and they jack up the prices to cover their buying operation of buying these practices. Dr. Gupta has family-friendly prices that are from another time period. His prices are so low. Give him a call, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633 for Brighton Dental. All right, we'll take our first break at the 8 o'clock hour and be right back.
course of your life. Author Alessandro Sapia tells the unforgettable story of Alex, a brilliant Stanford PhD student whose life is transformed after witnessing a devastating medical mistake. Determined to help doctors catch what others miss, Alex launches an AI-powered medical startup with his best friend. What begins as a bold mission to save lives quickly becomes a high-stakes journey through the world of Silicon Valley, where billion-dollar dreams, ruthless investors, impossible choices, and personal sacrifice collide. Part medical thriller, part startup drama, and part deeply human story. Silicon Heartbeats explores the price of ambition, the promise of artificial intelligence, and the relationship that matters most when everything is on the line. If you enjoy The Social Network, Bad Blood, or Super Pumped, this is a novel you won't want to miss. Order your copy of Silicon Heartbeats, a Silicon Valley novel of AI, ambition, and the cost of changing the world. From author Alessandro Sapia. Available right now on Amazon and Kindle and paperback, and siliconheartbeats.com.
All right, hang in there, guys. We'll be back in 90 seconds. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. All right? All right, yep. All opinions are welcome. And just over a minute, we'll be back. Okay. Stand by, guys. "45 seconds. All right, 30 seconds, we'll be back. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Okay, so the Democrat Socialists had some primary. You know, the thing about the Democrat Socialists, they're going to make a big deal because they won these primaries, some of them. Yeah, they have. You know, they have. And it's not good. The president was asked about it last night. Listen.
His primary race. What do you think about the traction these candidates who are backed by the DSA and members of the DSA are getting?
Now, you know, I just say this. I know a lot of people like to abbreviate and call them the DSA. That really does a disservice. I think you should call them the Democrat Socialist of America so people know. They want you to use the abbreviation to kind of downplay who they are and what they're doing.
His primary race. What do you think about the traction these candidates who are backed by the DSA and members of the DSA are getting?
Well, I think it's crazy because they're going to ruin our country. They want to, I don't know if they want to. I think either they're very naive or they actually want to ruin the country. No matter where you look, go back 1,000 years with different names, anybody doing what they're doing and what they're espousing, everything turns out to ashes and junk and filth. You know, one thing I said the other day, for the first time ever, never thought of it, but you go to these cities that are taken over by the socialists and the communists, they're always filthy dirty, they're disgusting, they're always dirty, and you know, I'm a clean person, and people I know are clean, like you are, I know you very well, you're very clean. Aside from crime, aside from all of the other problems, no jobs, no anything, no money, they're always filthy, disgusting, dirty, and that's what you'll get. You know, I won Michigan. I did great in Michigan. We should win. We have Mike Rogers is going to be fantastic. Now, I'm not a big believer in polls, but I believe in him somewhat, and based on the polls, he'll do much better against Abdul than he's going to do against the Congresswoman.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mike Rogers in the head-to-head with Abdul there is ahead. Okay. And you know the question is with the Democrats, because with this with this civil war inside the Democrat Party, where they're really going after each other pretty hardcore. I mean, when the other day when James Carville said that he's thinking of leaving the Democrat Party, that's crazy. The Democrat establishment that are being devastated by the Democratic Socialists. The question is, will they unleash the Democrat Party machine? Right? Are they going to unleash the Democrat Party machine? And can the Democrats win without the machine? If you catch my drift on that. And if our thoughts on the Democrat Party machine are accurate, they cannot. So all the Democrat establishment have to do to defeat the Democrat Socialists that have an opponent. Now, there's some that are running unopposed in New York, okay, in New York City. But the ones that have an opponent, like in Michigan, if they don't pull out the machine, they won't win. But the Democrat Socialists have scared so many of the Democrats that are in the establishment. They're afraid to stand up to them, and I get it. They're threatening people. They're basically Antifa, and they're very scary and very violent. And yesterday on Fox, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell was on, and this was such a bizarre exchange that she had. And you can tell she's afraid that if she says what she really thinks of them, that they're going to start harassing her. Listen.
Just in the last month, Syed has said Israel should not exist as a Jewish state. I've known you. Hang on. I've known you a long time. Can you support that? And if so, how?
No, I categorically won't support that. Israel has a right to exist.
Then how can you endorse him if he is the candidate in November?
Bill, I'm going to be very blunt. There are going to be a lot of things that I don't agree with Mike Rogers on either. And I have told Bill exactly what I think. He then, says, well, this or this. I'm going to get him on record.
Oh my goodness, this is pretty scary. Okay, and he's also running around with this Hassan Piker, who says he hates the United States and that we deserve 9/11. And Hassan Piker, this is what you got. People give Hassan Piker a lot of grief, and I understand. But you also got to give Hassan Piker a lot of credit for his honesty. And I don't know how this happened and when this transition happened, but Hassan Piker is the Rush Limbaugh of the Democrat Socialist of America. And, when yesterday I was covering what's happened in Spain, because Nick Shirley went over there and the Muslims came after him with a knife and everything else. We're deeper into this than Spain is, okay? We're like 15 years ahead of Spain on this invasion. And what we have now, we have these anti-American Islamists that hold public office and are running for public office and are being treated like mainstream political candidates. And they're not. When you think about it, there used to be a time that someone would get an endorsement from someone who was like, someone controversial. They'd have to discount the person. They don't have to do that on the left. Hassan Piker, who says he wants to bring about the downfall of the United States and that America deserved 9/11 on the eve of the 25th anniversary of it, he just did a political event with him on Monday and is proudly walking around outside in the daytime with him the day before the election, and that helped him win. So when you have a political party that brings to their campaign events someone who says we deserve 9/11, if you remember, after 9/11, there was a really controversial figure that Bill O'Reilly used to have on Fox. Remember Ward Churchill? Any of you remember Ward Churchill? Ward Churchill, I don't know if he's still around. Is he still alive? Someone should have him on a show and interview him on television. Ward Churchill was a college professor, and after 9/11, he was praising the Muslims for the attack. And he said all the people that jumped out of the building on that day were little Eichmanns, right? He lost it. He was on Bill O'Reilly on Fox, He lost his job. It was the most talked about story in America for like 6 months, Ward Churchill. It was crazy. Well, 25 years ago, Ward Churchill lost everything because he was saying what Hassan Piker says every day today. And Hassan Piker, who says the same things that Ward Churchill said after 9/11, him saying that is accompanied by an endorsement for people that are winning elections. So, Hassan Piker is even going beyond what Ward Churchill and others were saying. And these Democrats are knocking each other over just to get to him, to get him to come to an event and endorse them. So what's happened to the Democrat Party? Well, you can tell with Dingell here, and you've seen Schumer in the last couple of days. You can see it on their face and with their body language. They're terrified. They're scared. And I get it. But these are scary times. Now, are you in pain? Well, if you are, that means you haven't taken my advice to go see Dr. Philip Appleton and taken advantage of his robotic laser away pain treatment. Dr. Appleton's robotic laser treatment works on everything, every type of pain I've ever heard of, and I learn about new pains all the time. Arthritis, bronchial neuralgia, bursitis, hip pain, knee pain, lumbar pain, muscular contraction, sciatica, strains and sprains, tinnitus, tennis elbow. I think Dr. Appleton, if you're listening, maybe we need to update tennis elbow to pickleball elbow. Is it now pickleball elbow? Because all the tennis courts are being turned into pickleball courts. Neck pain, stenosis, the list goes on. If you're in pain, go see Dr. Appleton. The consultation's free. Let him tell you how he can rid you of pain with his robotic laser away pain treatment. And remember, appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. Also, there's no shots, no pills, no injections, no downtime. The laser treatment is completely painless. In fact, you don't even feel the treatment while it's happening. Give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to take a moment to talk about life imaging. And don't forget, this is August, which is National Wellness Month. And you know, prevention is the best form of wellness and healthcare there is. Has anyone in your family ever had heart disease or a heart attack? Well, what does that mean for you? Find out. Go to Life Imaging and get the heart scan. You know, if you have someone in your family, if you have a history of heart disease in your family, you need to get checked out. Get screened. You know, and one thing, you think about it now. When have you known someone who's had a heart attack and afterwards everyone said, we knew it was coming? It's always a shock. And no one ever sees it coming because typically there are no symptoms. It blows my mind how many people I'm hearing from this on. They go in, they get the heart scan at Life Imaging, and they find out they have blockage, sometimes blockage in every artery and plaque buildup, and they say, I had no symptoms. You know, in 30 to 40% of heart attacks, the first symptom is instant death, the heart attack itself. Life Imaging have locations in Broward, Palm Beach, Dade, and Orlando. Give them a call. And while you're there, make sure you ask them about their full body cancer screening and virtual colonography. All right? And say goodbye to sedation. Call right now for your free heart scan with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan and you'll be connected in seconds. Okay, now there's a story that has come out of Iran that really shows you what's going on. Now, earlier in the show, I was telling you, Fox News reported yesterday that President Trump called off the airstrike because it had been leaked. Someone at the Camp David cabinet meeting leaked the attack plans on Iran to the media, and they reported it Friday afternoon, and the Iranians got a hold of it, and that's why he called it off. That's what's being reported. And, you know, I've been telling you that one of the major reasons that the conflict hasn't been ended is because there's a civil war going on inside the Iranian government, right? The civilian government want to end the war because they know what the future holds, right? It's not looking good. They just can't win. And you know, the civilian government, they're crazy too, but they're not as crazy as the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. And you know, they're having a major financial collapse on top of getting all this stuff blown up. And the civilian leaders, they're responsible for keeping the government running and the country running. And with everything blowing up with mass inflation and the economic disaster, things are getting tough for them. The IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, they don't care about that of the people. Their mission is to defend not the people of Iran or Iran, it's to defend the revolution, the Islamic revolution, and that's what they're doing. So there's a civil war going on between the IRGC and the civilian government. Now, there's a report that came out of Iran, and it's being reported in multiple sources. I know they're denying it, but you know, they deny a lot of things that we know are true and are happening. But the IRGC went and kidnapped the Iranian president, okay? And not only are they, did they kidnap him, they put a hood over his head, and they drove him to a secret meeting with the Ayatollah's son, it's being reported. And then he told them they're going to continue the fight, and then they brought him back. They didn't hurt him or kill him. Hold on a second here. You know, they didn't, you know, but they kidnapped, and it shows the civil war that's going on inside Iran right now. But right now, there's, in this country, there's a there's a major fight going on in this country right now. And in fact, I would call it an insurrection, okay? And the insurrection we have going on in this country right now are the people in the media that took the information from the leaker about the attack on Iran and reported it, so that the reason that when the leakers leaked this battle plan information about Iran, and then they went and reported it, the purpose they reporting it wasn't to have some news scoop. It was so that they could let the Iranians know what was coming, and to either get them prepared or get the president to call off the attack, which he did. If you are, this is crazy to me. And not only is it crazy, okay, it's insane that this is acceptable in this country. If there's a military event about to happen, and whoever you are, I don't care if you're in the media or not, and somebody gives you the secret attack plans, you don't go public with them. You you rat them out. You turn them in. Because you could get Americans killed. And it was reported on Fox News that someone leaked the plans. And the top suspects are Margaret Brennan and a few others with CBS News, because CBS ran with the attack plan story Friday afternoon. There's been a long tradition in this country that, there's always been debate over military conflicts, and that's fine. But the debate ends when the combat starts, because once the combat starts, you are putting in danger the people that are in harm's way, Americans. And this idea that they want to break news and they're entitled to do this, there are stories each and every day that they don't report because it doesn't fit their narrative. They're trying to undermine the President of the United States, and they want us to lose. And if you look at what happened, so Iran, remember, President Trump said the Iranians got to look at what we were going to do, and they got scared. So he acknowledged that they had the attack plans in advance, the Iranians. Someone gave them to them. And then look what happens with the media. They've had 3-4 days of, well, Trump's indecisive, he's a coward, they have this taco thing. And when the media, it just broke yesterday that there was a leaker at Camp David that gave them the press. So yesterday, Tuesday, so they had 4 days of this coward thing going on with Trump, or indecisive, or he doesn't have the ability to pull the trigger, or he's being played. Why is he wasting time talking? He didn't go in because they had they had a lot of details of the operation. My goodness. And the media knew it because they're the ones that reported it. So they knew it was leaked to them, and they didn't report that story. Or that it's a crime to leak it. It's not a crime for them to accept it for some reason, but it's a crime for the leaker to leak it. And they left that whole thing out of the story so that they could get 3 or 4 days. And they bring military experts on, and they interview military experts, and they talk about, oh, this indecisive president is making us look weak, and he's looking weak, and it's making us look bad. Because that's what the media wanted to do. All the media care about, they're like your standard Democrats or your standard, they just want Trump to look bad. They want every day to have a negative news cycle about Donald Trump. And then they did it with this. And then it comes out that somebody leaked it to them. The things that President Trump has to go through, and this assassin that they have in custody. Well, let's find out what we have. The last assassins we found out were in a new phase now because Kash Patel at the FBI. With the old FBI, with the Democrats, they would go and wipe out the social media of all of these people because the investigation, because they didn't want you to know they were a Democrat. Well, the last guy that was arrested, which was the attempted assassin, was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago against Don Jr., was a hardcore Democrat. And they all are hardcore Democrats. And we're going to find out the same thing with this new assassin that's going into court today in California. All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. I'll take some calls after the gold report, which is coming up in a minute. It's 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening, all right? 888-465-2631. Before the gold report, though, I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And, Coastal Weight Loss Secret, they've changed my life. And, one thing about losing weight, I was watching a video last night with my wife. Somebody was live streaming from Walt Disney World at Epcot Center. And, boy, a lot of people walking around Epcot Center sweating that could use Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And you know what I've noticed with losing weight, we're in these hot times of the summer. One of the things I've learned about losing weight is that in the hottest months, like we're in now, right, August, is that the heat doesn't affect me like it used to. I do much better in the heat than I used to, right? It's because I lost so much weight. It's amazing when you lose weight how much more energy you have and how things that would harm you a lot, would slow you down, like the heat, what kind of impact it had on you. And I'll tell you, Coastal Weight Loss Secret is amazing. Not only have I lost the weight, I've kept it off. And I've kept it off because Coastal Weight Loss Secret, the home of the metabolic reset, Dr. Zuckerman has reset my metabolism, which is amazing. With Coastal Weight Loss Secret, people lose 10 to 20% of their body weight in 60 days regularly. That's the norm over at Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You can do it. I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I've been on one weight loss plan. It was Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I've lost the weight, and I've kept it off. It works. Give them a call, 561-359-3418. 561-359-3418. That's 561-359-3418. And online, coastalweightlossSecret.com. All right. We'll take our break for the gold report. We'll come back. We've got a couple more things to touch on. We'll squeeze a call or two in. If you're on hold, hang in there. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are located. We'll take our last break, come back with William Youngman and the Gold Report right after this. Okay.
Who said, Michigan's not a swing state. And neither is Wisconsin.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today? William, did I lose you? Oh, I just lost William Youngerman. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Let me try again. Hold on. I just was talking to him during the break. William, are you with us? All right, let me try him back I'll vamp for a moment while I'm trying him back. Okay, but that hasn't happened before with William Youngerman. We'll try to get live radio, people. It's live radio, and we'll see what happens here. Hold on, he'll answer. I was just talking to him during the break. I don't know what's going on here. Hold on, we'll try one more time. One more time. And then we'll have to move on, and you'll get the gold report from me. Hello. Hey, William, I lost you. We're live on the air. I'm not sure what happened, but okay. How are the metals looking today?
Metals looking incredibly strong after yesterday's nice gains of $22.10, closing out at $4,076.60. As I said last week, the metals were poised for a breakout of these trading ranges, and that's exactly what we're doing today. Gold up $115.40 right now. Silver gained $1.34 yesterday, closing at $59.40. Platinum was up $101, closing out the day at $17.28. And palladium gained $85 yesterday, closing at $13.29. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $4,065 all the way up to $4,214. A close above in these ranges today, over 4,100, could give us a solid breakout to where we might be seeing $4,500, $4,600 gold again.
Wow.
Right now, silver up $2.30 on silver at $61.70. Platinum unchanged at $1,728. And palladium up $11 at $1,340. So gold right now, $4,192 the ounce, up $115.40. Oil down to $76 a barrel. U.S. dollar continues to get weaker. By way of reminder, we have a foreign exchange division in our company, which handles 60 different currencies around the world. So if you're going on a vacation or trip and you need euros or British pounds or any other currency, let us know. We can help you there.
Yeah, and if you have any foreign currency left over from a trip, you can also take it over and turn it into U.S. dollars as well. All right, listen, give William Youngerman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m., 800-327-5010, 800-327-5010. You can stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road, and find both his address and phone number online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll touch base tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day. Thank
All
you.
right, take care. All right, now Fox News maybe got some updates here because they're reporting on the Trump assassin. And, you know, this latest Trump assassin, this guy was planning a pretty hardcore attack. He was at the Trump golf course in L.A. where the president was just at yesterday. He was there 2 days before. Let me play the latest on Fox, then I'll fill in some of the gaps that they've left out. This is a real scary guy. Oh, please. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. They got some of the facts out there, but not enough emphasis. So he went one day to the golf course. He had an earpiece in, and he was going around taking photos and videos, and no one said anything. He went back a second day on Saturday. So he went Friday. No one said anything, did his thing. And obviously he put the earpiece in so that he looked like a security guy. He went back on Saturday doing the same thing, and that's when staffers that work at the golf club called the police, and they came. He went up to these federal agents. He said he was with State Department security, and even asked for Marco Rubio and said he was working for Marco Rubio. Okay? They found he had ammo on his person. He had a gun in his vehicle. He had an AR-15 at his home that had never been registered. So is that what's considered a ghost gun? I don't even know how such a gun exists. How do you get a hold of a gun that has no serial numbers and has never been registered anywhere? This is like a professional operation. He had body armor, lots of ammo, and he was planning not just an operation at a place where the president was going to be. With the body armor that he was planning for a gunfight to get out. And he also had a fake badge with him. So, this is as hardcore as it gets. And, when these stories happen, people, when in the press don't really like these stories because it makes Trump look, in their mind, sympathetic, right? And it should make him look sympathetic because he has so many people that are always, trying to do these things. So when they do report it, they're forced to do it, because it's in the news. But when they do it, they kind of downplay it and try to make the people sound like nuts. Well, anyone that gets involved in anything like this typically is a nut because for the most part, it's a one-way ticket. On occasion, it's not, but for the most part, it's a one-way ticket. So the people that they recruit to do these things are crazy. But this guy here had taken it to a very professional level, just like the sniper's nest at the airport that they found last year. All of these things. Same thing with the Charlie Kirk assassination. Yeah, that guy did it. But how did he learn how to take such a great shot like that? And they always want to portray these people as, if you go to any federal prison and you go to Murder's Row, they're all crazy, okay? Sane people don't go out and kill people, right? Crazy people do. So, yeah, I would expect all of these people to be completely nuts. But these stories, there's just too many of them. And one of the reasons they happen is not just because they call him a king and they call him a fascist and everything else, but over the last week, there has been pretty semi-viral on social media a detailed, long sit-down interview with John Hinckley, who shot President Reagan in 1981, and he got out of prison. When these people survive, they should never be free again. And John Hinckley not only is free, he's doing interviews regularly. And that helps take some of the fear away from these people that do these types of things. So don't let the news blow this off and tell you, oh, it's just some crazy person, nothing to see here. When the guy's got a fake earpiece, a fake badge, he's telling the authorities he's with State Department security. He has an AR-15 that has no serial numbers on it, never been registered anywhere. I've never heard of such a thing. It sounds like a professional hitman out of a movie. I've never heard of anything like that in real life. Have you? A gun with no serial numbers that has never been registered anywhere? They didn't say anything about the serial numbers. He tried to file them off or something. It never had them. So everything about this guy in California looks very professional and very well organized. Now, one last thing I wanted to mention. The New York Times, and you can't, the New York Times, I tell you, the New York Times. They have a story on conservative influencers. They call them right-wing influencers, right? Right-wing. New York Times has an article, and this is what it says. Right-wing influencers are losing views and listeners since Trump took office. They allege it's a problem for Republicans moving towards the midterms. And the ones they're citing are Tucker, Carlson, Candace Owens, and a handful of others. The ones they're citing that are, you cannot trust anything you ever see, hear, or is reported as news by the New York Times, because it's always half-truths or just outright lies. The influencers that they're talking about are all influencers that have what? Abandoned Trump and turned on Trump. Not a single one of them is someone that stood by the president. And the reason they're losing influencers isn't because of some algorithm or that MAGA's turned on Trump. It's because they've left Trump, and people that are MAGA Republicans are no longer supporting them. That's the reality of it. Now, you don't get that in the New York Times story, because the New York Times story, like the rest of the left, want to give you the impression that MAGA has turned on the president, because that's their agenda. That's what Marjorie Taylor Greene and the rest of them are trying to do. The opposite is true. Now, I want to tell you guys about Friendly Tire in Margate, where you can get brand new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. And remember, when I say out the door and on the road, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tires. That's amazing, right? It really is. And he has thousands of good used tires in stock, as low as $35 a tire. That's out the door and on the road. And he also does tire repairs, which other places do not do. I went over there a few weeks ago for the repair of one of my tires, okay? And he replaced the valve stem, and I ran over something, and he did an incredible job. And you can get all the name brands you know in one as well. Give Friendly Mike a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. All right, I'll take a call or two. We're running short on time. The number is 888-465-2631. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Oh, hey, Brian. What's up?
Hey, good. I'm great, Brian. Listen, it's time now that we finally got realistic about all these things going on. We have got to deal harshly with all this crap going on in this legacy media, especially these guys in the TV and that, these would-be assassins, leaking military plans. This has got to stop. We've got to, and a guy who already tried to kill President Reagan is running around now giving interviews too.
Hinckley is doing detailed sit-down interviews.
This is ridiculous. This guy, truthfully, it should be an automatic death penalty. You try and assassinate the president, or think about it, or have a plan already ready to go.
Yeah.
You got to crack down on these guys. We cannot put up with this in this country. We have to cancel a military campaign in the Middle East because somebody is leaking it, but from Camp David.
Yeah.
That's treason.
Now,
That's treason.
now it's being, the way they're reporting it is it's someone from the cabinet. I mean, there's a lot of people, I don't think it's a cabinet official. It could be someone on their staff. It could be a military person that's got knowledge at the Pentagon, that's upset over Hague. Who knows? But that's why that's the real reason the attack was called off.
Because look at all the planning and stuff went into there. Like you said, when our guys are put in harm's way because somebody's got a kooky idea to leak the plans, that's got to stop. It's got to stop right now. And really, I tell you what, automatic death penalty for people that even think about that or caught planning something. Absolutely.
This assassin in custody from California. This is one of the worst. I mean,
absolutely.
Everything he did to me sounds like a professional operation. Everything, including the gun that has no serial numbers on it. I don't know how that's even possible.
Well, that guy's got to be cracked. They got to crack down on this guy. The guy with the nest up on Southern Boulevard with the president.
It's endless. Well, listen, I'm out of time, so I gotta run. But I appreciate it. The rest of you on hold, hang in there. We'll be back tomorrow at 6. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. God bless America, and of course, God bless Donald Trump. See you tomorrow, 6 a.m. Take care. All right, we're clear. Hey, guys, before you go, make sure you like the video, if you don't mind, okay? When you guys like the video, it helps so much, and it really spreads the word about the channel, because when you like the video, it gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. And Gen Extra 123, thanks so much for gifting those memberships. Gen Extra 123 just gifted 5 memberships, so that's awesome. Thank you so much. And if you're new, welcome. And make sure you subscribe, all right? My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you next time.